Well, all right. I will turn that volume down. All right. Hey, welcome to Chubs Gone Wild, episode 396. Just 4 episodes away from the big 400, which is, almost up to my weight. We might have to go
I
another
feel so thin.
You should, compared to me. That's it. Okay, remember when we used to talk about how when you were a big guy, you always wanted to be friends with somebody that's bigger so that you weren't the biggest guy in the room?
Yeah.
Well, for many years now, I have fulfilled that for everybody, pretty much. But, who knows? Maybe one day I'll be, well, never mind. We'll just move on. It is June 3rd, 2021. Corey Hart's anniversary, and also his wife's birthday. Yay. All right,
Yeah.
well, what? Okay, I know, completely irrelevant, really. Anyway, it is currently 84 and sunny outside the Chubs Gone Wild remote studios, where it is 150 days till Halloween, 205 till Christmas, 31 until Independence Day, and 214 until season 2 of Call Me Kat hits the airwaves on, well, I guess it's FX, but I watch it on Hulu because I don't like watching FX.
No, it's on Fox.
Oh, those are two different things. I just see the F and the X. So, okay, so it's two different things then.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of, I know that you do holiday shopping early.
No, I don't shop for anybody anymore. So.
Oh, okay. All right, and we're going to go ahead and move on to our check day and see what holidays we have coming up. We've got a site reset. So one moment, please.
Hey, did you hear that Jupiter Legacy got canceled?
No.
Yeah, got canceled. First, they announced that they were doing a sequel to Jupiter Legacy.
Uh-huh.
And then they canceled Jupiter Legacy.
Alrighty then. Yikes. That's okay, so let me make sure that's the one on Netflix about the superpowered young people or something, right?
Well, Josh Duhamel is the father in the show, and he's like he's like an older Superman, basically.
Oh, I do have that in my queue, and I had several people tell me to watch it, but I thought you said it was kind of boring.
Well, no, one part is boring. The current, because it basically it's present day with origin story mixed in. So the origin story is much more interesting than the current story, which is superheroes dealing with the fact that superheroes aren't supposed to kill anybody, yet superheroes keep dying because they don't want to kill the bad guys because that's a bad thing. And it's like, okay, fuck that. If somebody's trying to kill you, then you can kill them. That's how I look at it, especially in the superhero realm.
Right.
If that's the situation, yeah, you kill them.
That's how I agree. That's well, I'm superhero realm, but let's go to horror movies when they have like Jason coming at you or whatever, and you put an axe in his head, but he's not dead. He's not dead. And I'm always like, you pull that fucking axe out and you chop his damn head off. You make sure that fucker is dead and not coming after you again. But no.
Kill her, mommy, kill her.
They never do that. It's like those freaking dolls.
I saw Betsy Palmer on Broadway, who played Mrs. Voorhees in the original Friday the 13th.
What in?
She was in the same time next year with, okay, now you remember Murphy Brown, right? The old Murphy Brown?
Oh, yeah.
And the tall, thin guy who he had the funny voice, very newsy voice.
Yes.
He was the other character.
Wow.
I know, it was like totally star-packed. I mean, technically for Broadway, that's star packed. I mean, if you can name anything else that a Broadway star has done that was not Broadway, they're a star, because that's how it kind of is whenever, like during the summertime on a normal Broadway season, they're putting in TV stars, and if they can get the movie stars to bring in audiences, because you'll start off with Tony Adams, who's won the Tony and he's sensational, but he leaves right before summertime and they bring in John Stamos.
Oh,
because that looks better on the marquee.
Yeah.
For tourists.
Yes.
And so when there it was, Betsy Palmer and I it's like Kirkland or something is the guy's last name. Anyway, and it was like, oh yeah, oh my God, this is like watching TV right on, Jane and I had front row seats, so it was great.
That's interesting. I would kind of like to see that show. I remember the movie, but I watched it when I was too young, so I didn't have an appreciation of it until I was older.
Yeah.
I kind of remembered it and went, "Wow, that would be really cool to see."
What's really good about that particular show, the play, is that it goes over like a 20-year period, and so the characters get to change every episode, every chapter. So
right.
I think there's like 6 chapters in it. There are 6 different time period scenes, I guess.
Right.
And it's and so it's always great. One time she's pregnant, another time her husband, the older, has just died, so she's available, but he just remarried, that type of stuff. And so there's all these different highs and lows. Really a good show for an actor.
Really, really good. Now that I just wanted for my own. That was the movie. They made it into a movie. Yes.
Right.
With Alan Alda and Carol Burnett.
No, it was Alan Alda and Eileen. No, Elaine, the one who's from The Exorcist, the mother from The Exorcist.
Oh.
I can see it's E.B. The last name starts with B. Anyway, so no, you're the Carol Burnett and Alan Alda was a show called The Four Seasons.
Oh, okay.
And that had Rita Moreno in it and some other big stars.
Nice. Okay. I need to go back and watch all those again now that I'm adult and I can appreciate them, because I hate to say it, but all that you'll understand when you're older.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, today's holidays, we celebrate Chimborazo Day. Chimborazo? No.
Is that where kids get their clothing?
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Also, Corpus Christi, which is observed 60 days after Christmas or Easter, Christmas.
Corpus Christi?
Yeah, I'm like the play, the city. I guess it is it's Christ's corpse, Christ's body, the body of Christ. I don't know. Religious people are weird. Also, Impersonal Authority Day, Love Conquers All, Chocolate Macaroon, Chocolate Macaroon, National Egg Day, National Itch Day. I got some cream for that. Moonshine Repeat Day.
Wait, stop. The jokes are coming too fast for me to catch them.
Oh, I know, and they're too cheesy to really be observed. And then World Clubfoot Day. Okay. So those are the days that we celebrate today. Oh, and of course, we cannot forget today's affirmation. I take the time to breathe deeply each day, allowing my body to relax and release tension, fear, and criticism. Okay, I think watching porn would be more interesting, but whatever. Do what you need to do.
Well, if you do want to look at porn, you can always go to Big Gay Sex Show on Twitter and check out the Daddy blog or
Yes.
whatever it's called.
I have been posting some things recently that I kind of had you in mind for, thinking that you might like.
Oh, and we talked about this on our own, but I want to bring this up in the show. I don't understand. I mean, I understand how guys are trying to look sexy and they're like flexing in videos or pictures. And first of all, look, if lifting up and showing your armpit is all the hair you can show, then I'm not interested in talking to you. Okay. Just no, it's
I get it.
Oh, look. It's like, really? That's what are even doing that? I just don't understand. I mean, I guess some people like armpits. Okay. But for the other 99% of us who go, okay, well, that's fine. But if that's your best asset,
right.
But it's the tongue sticking out.
Yes. And
I don't understand. Is that supposed to be sexy? Is that supposed to be like, I want to lick you all over? I want to, do dirty things to your butthole? I don't know.
I don't. It's one of the things that I've noticed a lot, especially in the gooning stuff. Which, for those that don't know what gooning is, it's just like edging, a power edging. So you go a long, long time until you just get so worked up. But anyway, they keep sticking their tongue out. Two things that I get really super annoyed with in pictures and video and stuff is people sticking their tongue out and people flipping the bird. Like, if you cannot fucking think of anything more interesting to do than that, I don't need a picture of you.
It's one thing if you're like an actor and you just want to ruin somebody's, free pictures of you by sticking and flipping them off. I get that. That. But if you're like trying to seduce me by flipping me off and sticking out your tongue, I am completely lost with your signals.
Yeah. I'm not interested, but it is very, very prevalent. The whole sticking your tongue out stuff, especially guys that are masturbating, they stick their tongue out, and I just like,
does that mean maybe they want to get their own cum on their tongue?
Well, now that I could get if they were like close to orgasm, but it's just somebody like jerking off and then like sticking their tongue out like it's hot. And
see, maybe I'm too old. I long for the old days of when you did things that were sexy to be sexy. Yeah,
right. Like a little, like when they used to show the ankle a little bit.
Right. I remember in the geisha where you just saw the area of their wrist from the glove and the and that's quite lovely, but and then she looks at the camera and goes, oh my God, we've lost your audio.
Oh, really?
Oh, you're back. Oh,
good. No, I was laughing because that's always been one of my pet peeves. So it's kind of good to hear it.
Well, and I know with you, it's because you guys would send a photographer out to the to an event, and then you come back and half the pictures of guys sticking out their tongues. And flipping out the camera. And it's like, well, we can't use any of these. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
More pictures of Tom and Charlie, who will actually not stick out their tongue while we're taking pictures.
Because they know how to smile. They know how to find their light, right? It's another thing. If you're an actor, know how to find your fucking light. I don't know how many times we had to reposition people. Get in closer. All right. So let's talk real quick about Patreon. Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons: Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ, Sausage from the Universe, Timothy, Eric, Brother Sinatus, Phoenix Dave, and Moose P. Please consider becoming a patron of the show. And also a reminder that those patrons that I named have been with us for a long time and have been super supportive. And so they will all be getting print copies of Last Romance as soon as it comes out at the beginning of July. What else was I going to tell you about that? And also thank you to them. They our Patreon was able to renew all of our domains. So Swanner and Judd and Chubs Gone Wild and BGSS actually as well were all covered. So thank you to our patrons very much. Okay, well, let's figure out some birthdays. As long as Facebook cooperates. Facebook's acting really dodgy lately.
Well, so is my Xfinity remote, or it's either the remote, the DVR, or Xfinity. It's like I'll hit, like fast forward, waiting for it to start. Okay, now it's starting. Now, let me stop it right when I see the show, and then I have to back it out just to see the beginning again because it's like gone too far.
Huh.
Now, Sean says, "Oh, that was my fault," and then after he picked up the remote that I threw at him, he tried it himself and said, "Yeah, it does seem like something's going on because I am so tired of listening to him and Brian tell me I'm old. I don't know what I'm doing." Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know how to throw a remote at you.
Now, my father is old and doesn't know what he's doing. But no, you don't fall in that category.
Well, I know.
All right. Well, yeah. Oh, okay. Here it is. Today's birthdays are we sending love out to Daniel, Tim, and Gregory. Also, we had some recent birthdays, which was that Cheryl Murkowski of, Madge Weinstein fame. We'll say that, but Cheryl is Cheryl. Also, we got Dale, Philip, Mark, Jeff, Robert, Daniel, Donnie. Oh, that William. Remember Will for Billy from the theater days?
You said 3 different names.
I know. Well, we call him Bill, but on here he goes by William. But Billy.
Oh, yeah. Married to the youngest man in the world.
We were just talking about that on how you need to make sure that you know somebody so you don't end up marrying someone that's like 25 years older than you and you think they're only like 5 years older than you.
Well, that's because they tell you that.
Right. Yeah. So also we have Juan Carlos, who was a patron for quite a long time. We send him a lot of love. Also, we got Michael Heron, who does a music and a vegetarian, I think it's vegetarian, it may be vegan, podcast, and sings and releases albums about the same.
Honestly, I'm sure it's vegan because people don't, vegetarian isn't a big deal anymore.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, well, especially a lot of vegetarians still eat eggs and butter and dairy products. So, it's some even eat a lot of fish.
That's true. That's true.
But it's but vegans, they're set on their ways.
Yeah. All right. Also,
vegan cheese.
I don't think I've ever tried vegan cheese.
You'd know.
Now I have because, and I'll talk about this in a little bit in my week, but I tried today for the first time non-dairy sour cream. It tastes tangy, but it does not taste anything like sour cream.
Well, you remember that Cool Whip is non-dairy creamer, or non-dairy whipped cream.
Right.
So, you were eating vegan all along.
There you go. I didn't even think about that. See, I was very forward thinking. Apparently.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. But they also now have vegan cottage cheese. Or not, no dairy cottage cheese. I'm like, how the hell do you make cottage cheese? Because I was not going to spend $5 for a tiny little thing of like non-dairy cottage cheese to figure out if it tastes like cottage cheese.
Yeah, I don't need to know.
No. Also, we got Dave, DeAndre, and Luis. So happy
Wait, we're
birthday.
still on birthdays?
I know, right? It was
Jesus.
a lot of birthdays. A lot of parents were getting it on. Okay, so those were our birthdays, and
We do have another big birthday coming up this week too.
oh,
Yeah, Damien Thorne.
Damien, is that's your friend Damien or an
No,
actor?
it's the character from The Omen.
Oh,
He was born on June 6th.
it's true. It's very true.
6666.
Sorry, my mental thought process was every time you bring that up, I think about someone else that you know.
It's still a demon.
Yeah, very much so. Anyway, well, that's cool. And then today, not today, but this is also my mom's birthday month. So on the 16th, she will actually be 70 years old.
You know who was born the day after your mother?
Your mother?
Barry Manilow.
Oh, Barry. So would you have sex with Barry? I mean, obviously you're married and stuff, but hypothetically, would you have sex with Barry?
I was never really interested in him that way.
Yeah.
But, sit me down, get me drunk, play me some music, and I could probably do most anything.
Well, that's very true.
Let's put it this way. It's not that I wouldn't have sex with him. If I was in a situation where I was his friend, I probably would not have sex with him. But if the opportunity came up, everybody wants to have sex with famous people.
Well, see, that's the thing is that somebody's like, oh, would you have sex with XYZ or something? And I'd be like, well, yes. And not because, just to say, hey, you know what?
Well, a good friend of mine who I'll leave, I won't give you his name, but he slept with the guy who wrote Tootsie.
Oh.
So he can say he slept with an Oscar winner.
Nice.
And he also slept with a time bandit.
Time Bandit.
One of the little people from Time Bandit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And so he slept with him, so he could say, "I slept with a time bandit."
Nice. Yeah.
And believe me, it wouldn't stop there. I mean, I was a grip on Close Encounters. Boom.
Uh-huh.
He had sex with a grip on Close Encounters.
Yeah, I hate to say, well, maybe I don't hate to say it, but I would totally do that. Yeah.
Yeah, in my day, I would have been a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Oh God, that was a horror. Okay.
Well, we all have our moments.
Yeah, mine lasted a couple of decades, but go ahead.
Okay, so we don't have anything in our feedback this time, but the only chub hug that I have right now is for those that are celebrating Pride this month. So
and I don't know if I'm sure you have noticed, but there seems to be a lot more effort this year.
Yes.
And now it's not just because Trump squashed all Pride of everything for 4 years, and then it just seems like it's more, but this seems like it's more than we've ever had.
Yeah, it's really odd that in the last 3 days, I mean, obviously, whenever Pride Month comes along, so many of our Facebook friends and stuff, you see flags and Happy Pride and everything. But this year, it's everywhere. And everybody's talking about it. Everybody's got the rainbow. All the allies have got all their stuff up.
TV,
yeah,
Twitter. I mean, Disney's, putting up the rainbow flag with Mickey and Minnie and Goofy and Pluto all proudly marching. And but it's, I mean, when you start seeing all these things, Budweiser and Coca-Cola and everybody's or even General Mills, right? Isn't that the one that did the box of cereal?
Well, it's Kellogg's. Is that a General Mills? I didn't look too close at the.
God, they all, they're also incestuous. It's hard to know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, even breakfast cereal is showing their pride.
Yep.
And that seems a lot more than in recent time. And
Yes.
so that's kind of exciting. Did you know that there's three gay men on MSNBC that are that have shows?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
crazy. Well, Steve Kornacki, who was the one who did the big board during the
Okay.
he got the khakis and the white shirt.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's gay. Who knew?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just my chub hug goes out to all of these people who are living what I thought would be my dream. Well, it was my dream, but I'm talking about these people who are finding these little houses somewhere and then completely redoing them the way they want to, and how they find the effort. And I'm far too lazy. I realize this now. Far too lazy to gut a building and then reconstruct, or even some of these people who are just redoing what they already had, not moving somewhere, obscure. I mean, some of these people are moving to these wonderful locations and starting over completely. And I think it's so courageous and fun to watch. I mean, really fun to watch. But yeah, and I would have loved to have been able to do that, but I think I needed to have done that about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
At your age, when you still have a lot of energy.
Yeah, because I don't have the energy, and
Oh no,
I
no,
don't know
you
how
were supposed to be my goal.
but
If I had as much energy as you do right now, I could do. Oh no.
no, because I just look at that stuff and I'm amazed by it, but I have no clue. It's like Baron Frosty with
Yeah.
all the things he's doing in that place. It's like awesome to watch, but
And you got Nate and you got Tim.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people that at least on my news feed that I'm seeing all the time going, well, I mean, even Moose and him redoing his whole kitchen.
well,
as
and,
well as
and like every
everything
season
else.
he redoes everything, kind of with the decorations. But I mean, I recently moved around stuff on my windowsill, and I thought, wow, I'm really doing something. But no, I do applaud them, but I don't have that kind of energy.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I just thought of somebody else that we should send a chub hug out to. Oh gosh, I knew it would end up leaving my head. Oh well, maybe I'll think of it again. But okay, so
funny when your picture distorts behind you.
Oh, that's it. Thank you.
Oh,
it was
it looked like you have a graduation hat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can see that.
And it turns a little square, or not. Well, yeah, kind of square.
Yeah.
You get points. You get points there.
But the thing that's behind me in the video, if anybody's watching or if they're not, 40 years of progress. So this is the is it tomorrow or the 5th, I think, is the 40th anniversary of like AIDS pandemic. And so we've had this going on for 40 years, which is so in America. So it basically started when I was 10.
Well, if you remember, it was the article first showed up in I think it was the New York Times, right after Memorial Day. After Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
And that's when people first started talking about the gay cancer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And here we are 40 years later, and we just it would be so great to have a cure, but even if we had something that was a vaccination, or even better, just
Well, and the thing is that there has been a lot of good stuff, and
Yeah.
we'll even talk about that when we talk about one of our sponsors later on, who's doing their bit to make sure that this doesn't go any further.
Right.
So,
Okay, so obviously we just talked a little bit about current topics that Pride Month is here, and the cereal. And well, since we are talking about that, I will say that I was I was very, as I told you, when I got it, I was very happy to see the cereal sitting in the middle of the store because, years ago, when I went to my first Pride, like when you left Pride, you took your Pride stuff off to go home. You didn't like stop at the store with your rainbows flying and all that, or at least most of the people that I know didn't, and I didn't. And so to be able to walk through your local grocery store and just see a big display of celebration or pride or together, cereal, it was really a neat experience. And then so I saw a lot of people that really responded to that and agreed, and then there was, of course, the other gay people who were like, they just want our money, and they're big corporations, and why don't they love us, when it's not June, because it's only safe to love us in June, and all this stuff. And it just kind of threw me that it's like, well, cartoon characters on cereal boxes don't represent me. I'm like, I don't think that they're meant to represent, the cartoons aren't meant to represent any of us. But I really, my response to that was, we've got our scars, and we're set in our ways, and we are strong enough to, face, the adversity and whatever. But some 14, 15-year-old, or younger these days, kid who is coming to terms with who and what they are, and maybe not in a family or a safe environment where they can come out or whatever. And that, here's this big ass display of, gay cereal, basically. That's going to add something to say that not everybody thinks that you're a freak, or not everybody thinks that you've got a demon inside of you that may save some kid's life, and that was my take on it. And it was just poo-pooed because it's all corporate. They just want our money. And I said, yeah, they want our money because our money is,
just expendable.
Yeah.
And you know what? They could easily not want our money.
Right.
They could easily not have the Pride box out,
Mhm.
and easily done. But you know what? The fact is, there's a time period not too long ago where you could go to a bakery, and they would refuse to give you a cake for your wedding if you were gay, or
Right.
even if you were gay, selling you anything.
Mhm.
So the fact that corporate, it has to start with corporate. Once corporate goes, fuck you, we don't care whose money it is. That was the old joke about remember when Chick-fil-A didn't, we don't care, we don't need gay people's money. And KFC goes, well, we'll just let you know that we don't give a shit who eats our chicken, as long as they buy our chicken. We
Right.
don't care if you're gay. If you're gay, come buy more chicken. It's just ridiculous to try, or to not play along. Hate it if you want, but I would take just money from gay people if I had a business. Can you imagine all that money?
Yeah.
So it's good business, and it's not hurting anybody. And you know what? If somebody tries to, protest over the fact that you're selling Pride cereal, fuck you. We don't care, because you're still going to buy our shit.
And it should, yeah, exactly. And it shows that our dollars count, and so do we.
Right.
How long have we been saying, that our money is just as good, and here's something that proves it.
Mhm.
So, whatever. Anyway, so I was really happy to see the freaking cereal, you know, and so there, I said it. Okay, so some more current topics. Joe Biden issues the first Pride Month proclamation to honor LGBTQ people fighting to live freely. Trump refused to issue a Pride proclamation, and he sold Pride campaign t-shirts instead. Joe Biden honors the LGBT community instead of himself. So that was pretty cool. Did you hear what, was it Michael? No, I get them all confused. Michael Cohen said about Trump's view on gay people.
Are you talking to his lawyer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, he basically said, you know, he didn't like gay people, but he didn't give a shit because he's more concerned about himself.
Right.
So he's just like, whatever. Anyway.
But his friends don't like gay people, so he'll go on with that. Yeah,
exactly. Pundit hospitalized with COVID after saying it's God's judgment against LGBTQ and Jewish people. God sent COVID-19 to purge a lot of sin off this planet. Rick Wiles claimed, and only stupid people should get vaccinated, and now he's in the hospital with it. Stupid people. Even my religious, crazy, nutty truck driving, you know, Uber Jesus worshiping uncle got vaccinated. I was surprised, but I was glad. Anyway, last one is lesbian victim of sexual assault was asked in court if she was heterosexual at one stage. The defense strategy is apparently to question whether the victim might have changed sexualities, consented to sex in her sleep, and then lied about both. Lovely.
Well, you know, the sad part is this just isn't against lesbians. This is against women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally against women. Yeah, you know, I keep hearing, oh, woke people are gonna send straight men, you know, right out the door, and it's like, good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you can't be, and it's always, and they're finally using, and thank God they're finally using white straight men, not white men, because it always pissed me off, because it's like, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Right. Oh, it's very frustrating. Oh, so before we jump into your week, we still have a thing up on it that says Kathy Bacon Swiss rolls over ho-hos. Well, Mr. Michael Sage was shopping and sent me a picture of the store he was in because ho-hos were next to Swiss rolls, and he thought of us and sent the photo. So that was very, very fun. Very cool.
Well, and what we're planning on doing is have a well, I mean, what I would like to have happen is that in July during the live show, that the people in the lobby who are listening during the show, not later on, but actually during the show, hopefully can get themselves a Swiss roll and a ho-ho, and we can have a live judgment during the show.
I think that would be awesome. And I think that since you'll be here in studio, I think that we should have a taste test here as well.
Well, that was the whole idea.
Okay, that's awesome. I love that idea. I like ho-hos.
I know.
I love ho-hos. I mean, Swiss rolls are good. I don't.
You know what the good thing about Swiss rolls are? You get 12 for like 8 cents.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And you know, so if you're going for just the amount, I get it. I get that. But you know, I still like the old foiled wrap ho-ho. You know, and you unroll it, then you eat all the chocolate off it, then you unroll it and eat it more like a Suzy Q.
Yes, it's kind of like, what was the other thing that we all, like a Kit Kat, where you always eat the chocolate off around it first and then you eat the wafers.
separately, each
Yeah.
layer separately. So
Yep.
so it's more of a project eating these things and not more just like oh, boom, 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 boom.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
with the Swiss cake, since you got 12 of them, they're easy to go. They're easy
Right.
to go.
Yeah. Okay. So now Tom wants to talk to you about.
Okay. My week. Here I'm gonna do a little Nicole Wallace from MSNBC and put my glasses on while I read. This week, Masked Singer. We had the final three, which was the Chameleon, Black Swan, and the Piglet.
What the hell?
So number three ended up being the Chameleon, who ended up being Wiz Khalifa. The Black Swan was internet star JoJo. No idea who that is, but she sang really well.
Cool.
And then Piglet was Nick Lachey. 98 Degrees, Nick Lachey.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just don't know all their names. Although I finally figured out the difference between each Jonas brother, and I kind of like Kevin the best.
Well, Kevin really is the best looking.
Yeah.
The others are interesting, attractive.
Yes,
But I mean, as a regular, good-looking person, Kevin's really the best looking.
he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Although, and I never thought Joe was. Why people found him so attractive, I never understood.
I guess maybe it was the. Oh no, that's Nick. I was going to say the abs, but that's Nick. But yeah.
Nick was awkward.
Mhm.
I get that. And then Kevin he didn't quite come in. He got better looking when he was manly, when he was more adult.
Yeah.
So
I think Joe's the personality, though. I think that's what his attraction is.
Okay. We had the season finale of Mighty Ducks. So now you can go on Disney Plus and watch binge the entire series.
Okay. And you challenged me to do that, and I will do that.
Yeah, and you'll really like it.
Okay.
And the kid who is the kind of chubby one who is, well, anyway, when you see him, think remake of Goonies. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Remake of Goonies, which they're talking about. Okay. This last week on Top Chef, it was really interesting. The challenge was that you have to write out a recipe for one of your things, one of your, whatever you want to make. You have to write out the recipe, and then a all-star will make that recipe based on how you write it out, and you're going to make it. So then you both go to the judges and go, okay, this is the same recipe. And surprisingly, some got almost identical. They looked identical.
Wow.
And some looked like, oh my God, what the hell happened here? So I thought, what an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah.
Of doing recipes, because they say, hey, if you get the opportunity, all of you are going to want to put out a cookbook at some time. Some of the judges have put out multiple cookbooks.
Yeah. So
there's a lot that goes into it, and that's what kind of eased them into the thing. It was fun. This week, Pose, we're down to our last episode, which I'm very sad about. But on House Hunters this week, now, have you watched any of the Pose?
No.
Okay.
It's all in my queue, and I swear I will binge it, but
Dominique, I think it's Jackson, who plays one of the main characters. She was actually on House Hunters with her boyfriend or husband looking for a house, the actress. So it was so funny because and they did not pull away from kisses or the fact that she was transgender, and it was really kind of exciting. I mean, it's only a half-hour show, but it's like, okay, so I know they've had gay people on House Hunters before, but maybe this was for pride or what, but I was thrilled to see her on there. And she is the one who actually lived the through the time period, through AIDS, through the ballroom. She was part of that era and those people that lived through that. So seeing her on the show now, there's more history than just she's an actress being hired for this show. So and it's so funny because she's looks flawless and she's 56, 57 years old this year, and you'd think she was, in her 30s.
Like,
of course, when she was actually in the ballroom, she was pretty close to in her 30s. So it's interesting. But once you start watching it, I think you're going to really, you are going to really enjoy it. I know that.
Okay.
Girls Five Eva finished that one. Finished a lot of shows this week. It's not been. I mean, it's been good, but I don't want to miss your friends.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So, and that's just Girls Five Eva is just it's on Peacock. It's just this funny, it's this funny show about these older women trying to find a singing career after 20 years. So good stuff. Hacked. I'm still having a good time with Hacked. Although I wrote down in my thing, I said it's very well written, but too girl positive for Brian. Well, there's the main characters are women, so he's not gonna like it.
Yeah.
So that's just how.
And
sad.
Like anymore.
Right. Sad, but that's the situation.
Yeah.
Let's see. Special, which is Netflix, about the gay man with cerebral palsy. It's really taxing this year. There's a lot of drama because we're past the fact. Well, I mean, we're still dealing with his CP, but we're also dealing with relationships and how fucked up they can be. So it makes it kind of hard watching it this season. Just saying.
I just watched a porn movie from Himros that had a star that had CP. It was really interesting timing.
Yeah. Okay. Jurassic Park season 3 is on Netflix. This is Jurassic Park, Camp Jurassic Park, now I'm just wondering now that it's been 3 seasons and no one's tried to come back to find these kids. Don't they have parents? Seriously. I mean, even in Jurassic Park 3, the parents came looking for their kid that got lost there. Right. I'm not going to accept my kid got eaten by dinosaurs. I'm going to find out for sure. And maybe, I think they're just trying to keep the kids going as long as they can, because once they're rescued, there's no more show.
Right.
So it's still fun. Crime Scene Kitchen. Have you heard of this? Okay, this new show on Fox, Joel McHale, right after the new Hell's Kitchen, MasterChef Legends on Wednesday nights. What it is the contestants go into a kitchen and try to figure out what was made in the kitchen last.
Wow.
So for instance, they find 4 cake pans that are in the drying rack, right? So they know it's a 4-layer cake. Okay, then they're looking for what kind of cake is it? So, look, I found some cocoa powder. So it's probably a chocolate cake. But look here, we've got white chocolate niblets. Okay, that's got to be decorations. And they've got to put all these things together and then make that cake and hope that that's the right one.
Wow.
It's
really kind of cool.
It's kind of interesting, but you're kind of like going, I don't know enough about what goes into certain cakes. Like they did one that was the little the rolled up what are they called? Cataloni? Is that?
The Italian?
Yeah, with the cream inside, and then you get and then you put the chocolate on the ends, and then the mini chocolate chips. It's not calzone.
No, that's pizza.
That's pizza.
I will look it up because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, so it was one time. It was that, and it was like, see, I don't know enough about what kind of wine or would have gone into the the cheese that they put in, so I'm like, okay, I'm just
Cannoli.
cannoli. So I'm just going to enjoy this and not try to be like, wow, I could be this contestant, because I could not do this. Let's see. Rowan Rock is back on Netflix. That's the Thor.
Yeah.
I guess it's actually made in Sweden, because it is dubbed, but it's still really interesting. And Daddy is even more woofy than he was last year, by the way.
Oh,
The bad guy,
yeah.
he seems even woofier than last year. So,
Nice.
let's see. I finished the Krasinski's Method, the Michael Douglas show from Netflix.
Okay. Yeah.
Season finale or series finale, 3 seasons. Oh God, everyone's dying in the 3rd season. I'll just warn you about that. So there's a lot of sadness, but it was still very funny. A lot of things got done, and Kathleen Turner's on there, and she is huge.
I love her.
Oh my God. And
Yeah, I'll love her.
I was actually pulling up some pictures of her, some other stuff that she's done. And it's like, she looks like the old man in The Village. Not the old woman in The Village, the old man in The Village.
Oh,
But she's still so good. She's so talented. She's very comfortable, first of all, on screen with Michael Douglas after the Romance of the Stone movies. But just, yeah, she's with her comedy, just really good. Stop making that hat. Okay. I'm still not watching Friends yet on HBO Max, the reunion.
I have it, but I haven't watched it either.
It's still an hour and 43 minutes. So that's, yeah, that's too long. It's too long. And then I saw a terrible movie called Breached on Prime. Actually, I didn't see the whole thing. I only watched, it's Bruce Willis. I saw about 20 minutes of it and went, okay, they've got about $1.50 for a budget, and they blew it on Bruce Willis's salary. That's otherwise, it's a lot of dark scenes where they're hiding the fact that they have a shitty set, because it's supposed to be on a spaceship, and it's terrible. But I did see a good movie called Love and Monsters, and this is it's Dylan from the Maze Runner movies. The kid.
Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha. So he stars in this. What's happened is there was a giant asteroid coming towards the Earth. So all of the nations got together and blew it out of the air. But when they did that, they also sprinkled down all sorts of chemicals, which made cold-blooded creatures grow to be huge, to be monsters. So basically 7 years later, and we've got all these people living in bunkers, communities living in bunkers, and trying not to get eaten. And basically this guy goes out looking for his girlfriend. He's going, that's it. I'm tired of waiting here for this to stop happening. I'm going to go get my girlfriend. And it's almost a little bit like Zelda, I guess. But they've got a dog in it that's so cute, just so cute. Nothing happens to him, although there is moments where he's in danger, but he's much smarter than the main character. So he's like, the guy's going, I think I might eat these berries, and the dog's like, nah, nah. Like, are you sure? And he's like, and so he doesn't eat the berries because they're poisoned. So, and you find out later that they are poisoned, and the dog knows, and it's just, the dog is so cute, and you just,
And it's called what?
Love and Monsters. It's currently on HBO, if you can get it there. If you can't get it there, no, it's not HBO. I'm sorry, it was Epic. So that might be a little harder for people to get. They might not have that, but it may be available. I'm sure it's available in like Redbox and other ways that, people like uh, smart people might be able to find it in other places.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's well worth the watch. It's a lot of fun. There's some really good characters, and it was a reasonably quick watch, even though it was like an hour 53. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
cool.
and let's see, we're down to 2 girls, but they're both really healthy. So I'm just going to go with the 2 for the summer because we've got so much weed here. It's ridiculous.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. A couple questions for you. Did you watch It's a Sin?
Not yet.
Okay. I haven't either. I was just going to ask you if you thought I should watch it.
Well, remember when I was saying that it's really hard to go to Underground Railroad after them, just because
Yes.
you go, well, think about those people. Think about what they have to, their memories and what they get to go through. And I'm like, no, what they need to do is go on HBO Max and see all the shit that we've gone through too. But you know what? Nobody wants to watch that much terror and horror and suffering. But it's there for anyone that wants to see it, because they've got that Pride show right now on Hulu, which is like 4 decades of Pride, something like that. And then you also have It's a Sin, and there's another show that's on there as on HBO Max as well, that's gay oriented. So, and right now on Showtime you can watch the Queer as Folk too.
Oh, are they? Oh, that's cool. I
So,
love that show.
so there's a lot of gay going out there.
I should watch that again.
Although, if I was thinking about this, if you look at television, remember we're always saying there's not enough Hispanic shows or Black shows.
Yep.
And there's, honestly, there's not enough gay shows anymore either.
Right.
And if it wasn't for Netflix and
right.
Netflix and streaming in general, because I think they're a little bit better overall. But Netflix actually, goes in there and says, you got a series? Okay, tell me about it. Well, it's about these 12 straight guys. Okay, we're not done. We're done. We don't want to do this. Okay, what if I said there was an Asian guy and a Indian guy and a gay guy? Okay, tell me more. Tell me more. What do you got here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we need more. Actually, Netflix is pulling in a lot of Asian shows from that were produced in Asia
and Canada and stuff like that, where
but we need more. That's another thing, is we need more Asian shows. We need more Asian pop stars too.
Okay.
I've noticed, I thought about that the other day, and I'm like, well, I guess there's a couple now, and then there's BTS. Is that what they're called? The K-pop group.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then but there's not a lot of big superstar Asian singers.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah. So the other question I had, have you seen the preview for a show called Why Women Kill?
No, but I love the title.
Yeah, I just it was it popped up on I think Amazon Prime last night. It was a very quick promo, and I thought, but it really grabbed my attention. Well, that and the weird commercial for some sort of laxative. Have you seen this? The lyrics are something like, when you're doing number 2 and it feels like you pooped out a pineapple or a watermelon or something. I swear I will link you this commercial. It was the craziest thing. And then they're like, at the end of it's like, when you should feel really happy when you poop or something. And I just, my jaw was on the floor watching this.
Well, now on Girls 5 Eva, there's one song where they're talking about getting older, and I'm paraphrasing because I was too busy, shocked that Busy Phillips goes, a solid stool was one of her lyrics, and I'm like, I said, did she just say solid stool? And, well, she is getting older. It's like,
there's nothing wrong with the solid stool.
No, we all hope for one.
Yeah, of course, that's better than me. That what was it? Pussycat Dolls. There's a song that, you know, when I grow up, I want to be famous. I want to have, and one of the lines in it is, I want to have groupies. And I swear, I'm not even making it up. I swear that lyric was, I want to have boobies.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say poopies.
No, although that would fit with the theme. But no, I thought they said, I want to have boobies. And I'm like, well, it is an all-girl group. I guess that's okay. But I
Well,
got
you know,
way
until they had
wrong.
lyrics online, I was
Uh-huh.
wrong about a lot of songs.
Me too. And I still am. Of course, it doesn't measure in comparison to my mother thinking that double plus good said a hell of a skunk. She actually thought the lyric was a skunk, a hell of a skunk. And I was like, that's forward thinking, I guess.
Well, and another thing about Girls from Five Ever, it's all the music's written by, I believe, Sarah McGill, Sarah, no,
Oh.
no, Waitress.
Oh,
Not gonna write you a love song, Bareilles.
gotcha. Oh.
Okay, Sarah Bareilles, and and the songs from their first album, which was 2000,
Mhm.
1999, 2000 year, are hilarious. You know, about, you know, it's so anti Me Too. You know, I want you to throw me on the bed and rip off my clothes and treat me like the whore I am. That kind of stuff. You know, stuff that would never go today. But yeah, it's like, or, you know, having fun with my uncle, that kind of thing. You know, it's just that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really hilarious stuff. And there's actually an album out too. You can buy the album.
Oh.
I just want to do it because if all I have to do is go, um, we're gonna be, what is it, five ever, cause forever ain't long, is way too short. And I sing that, and Sean for the rest of the day can't stop singing it. And he doesn't know the right words, but he keeps trying.
Right.
And it's really bad when I do it and he's at work. We're gonna be famous five ever, cause forever is way too short. That's the you see, I'm actually thinking about buying the album and just sending the song online, you know, send it over on a text.
That would be that would be funny. Yeah. And trying to take somebody's pulse or something and have that going through your head.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Your
my what's that? Oh yes, so my week, I finished The Good Witch, all 5 seasons that are available on Netflix. There is a 6th season, but COVID made them like stop in the middle of it, so they have picked it back up, and they have been well, it's out there. Or going to be out there soon. So I'm looking forward to that.
you know it's gonna be weird. In a couple months, we're gonna start seeing shows on television that are following COVID restrictions.
Mhm.
And we're gonna but the weird thing is gonna be that they're gonna be I mean, we're not going to be going to the grocery store with a mask, but in the TV show that they filmed already, they are.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
weird. It's going to be very strange.
Huh.
Anyway, go ahead with your week.
Okay. I also finished Red Dwarf, all 12 seasons. So I'm looking forward to. So basically, now that those 2 are done, I am looking forward to like doing the Mighty Ducks and all the shows like on Netflix and stuff that I've been kind of putting off for a little bit. I am looking forward to kind of catching up and watching new stuff and being able to talk a little bit about that. Let's see. Speaking of the COVID stuff, actually, I went into the pet store today to get a bag of wild bird seed for my mom. Well, for the birds in the back, but yeah, she had wanted it. And I went through the whole thing, and the people, I saw one person who like kind of came and started coming toward me and then looked at me and went a different way. And I thought, well, okay, that's weird, but thanks. I won't take that personally. And then I got up to the register, and it was a cute little lesbian with blue hair, and she was just all super nice and everything. And I took it out, and I got in the car and realized the whole time I had no mask on. And I felt like going back in and apologizing and telling her, I'm so sorry, I'm not an anti-masker. I'm still waking up. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so I don't know why I do that. I'm just so absent-minded. The other weird thing is when I was in Rayleigh's today, I'm putting together a package for our friend Thomas in Sweden. And some of it's like just kind of cool, you know, like California t-shirt and little things like that. And because 4th of July is coming up, I thought I wanted to go ahead and put some like, you know, cheesy American 4th of July stuff in there just as kind of a gag. And so when I was at Rayleigh's today, I got a little American flag. And I put it in the cart and I felt weird. And the reason I felt weird is because I felt like people were going to look at me being, you know, the great big bearded kind of bikerish looking when I'm not super gay. You know, white guy, you know, getting an American flag and putting it in there because I'm all God and country and all that. And I felt a little resentful that I can't buy an American flag without feeling like I'm going to be lumped into KKKers and Trumpists. And that bugs me a lot.
Honestly, I think that's your problem, not anybody else's.
Okay, and that is very valid. But I felt like that. I felt like, you know, that people seeing that are going to be like, oh, he's going to go, you know, put that on the back of his truck or something.
Okay, it's only like 4 inches tall.
Well, yeah, but it's not exactly in the. They have to get close if it says like "Don't tread on me" or something. They have to get real close to read it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt weird. But yeah, you're right. That really is kind of my own, you know, weird thinking. But I did feel resentful that I might be lumped in with those assholes. Anyway, also, I finally got so tired of my father with his Android phone and crap that he drives me nuts coming to me every little bit. Oh, I turned on my talk button. So literally whenever you touch the phone or do anything, it tells you, you're touching your phone. You're using your PIN code. You're doing this. Tap twice to make it. And I've had to turn it off several times. And it took me a long time to figure out how the fuck to turn it off on a damn Android phone. So finally I said, you know what? That's it. We're getting you an iPhone. So of course he has to pay for it, and it's coming through our account, and it'll actually be cheaper than what he pays for his Metro PCS phone. But for those of you who
how much did he pay for that garbage Android phone?
I think he ended up paying like around 200 something for the phone.
Well, because a lot of times
it was rolled into payments.
Yeah, a lot of times that's what they do is they get you with thinking you're getting a brand new phone,
mm-hmm.
and they roll in the payments and you're paying what you could pay for an iPhone and
yep.
You know, get a good phone.
Yep. And so that's what we did. In fact, here it is. Some of you can probably see it if you're watching the video. Yeah, see, you got the 3 camera. I really want to get that, but I have to wait another 11 months.
Yeah, well, and this is like 2 years old too.
Yeah. I ended up getting an XR, I think, and it was supposed to be the new one, but it only has like 1 or 2 of the little camera things. But so I got him an 11, and it does the same thing. I had to pay $77 up front for the delivery and everything. And then everything else will be rolled into a 2-year contract, and he'll pay, actually, I think it's about $40 a month. So, and I can actually help him with the phone without tearing my hair out. So, got that going. I haven't been sleeping real well. I think it's the heat, but I have completely practically turned around in bed. I haven't been getting to sleep. It's wearing me out, and then I end up taking a nap in the afternoon and sleeping for 3 hours just to catch up on.
And well, I'll tell you, have you got the fan back in the window?
I have, yeah. Well, no, I actually have the window closed, and I have my big fan on, and I have a little fan on my nightstand,
Well,
and the ceiling fan.
hey, we've got the whole house fan on and the fan in the window, but see, you sleep with the door shut, right?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, you'd want to, you couldn't use the whole house fan, but by putting a fan in your window, this morning when I woke up at 7 o'clock, it was 59 degrees in my bedroom.
Sounds wonderful.
Well, you got to utilize that outside air.
Yeah, I had gotten a white, a double,
Yeah, but you don't have that kind of window.
yeah, exactly. And I was going to put it up, straight up and down in it,
Yeah.
but the fan was just like, no, don't do that. So I have it next to me, and it has a temperature control on it, but it's not.
I tell you, all you need to do is get a screen in the window,
right,
and then put a box fan up there at night. Just close the window during the day, put the fan up at night, and open the window, and you will be. I mean, we had the whole house fan on at probably 8 o'clock last night, and it was, I had to turn it down because it got too cold in the house.
Wow. Okay, I'm
because if it gets too cold, then Sean will put on clothes, and we don't want that.
No, you do not.
I wait all year for this.
So I just wrote down a note to myself to get a box fan, and they have them actually at the store for like $16. So that's
and a screen, or then find somebody that can make a covering that you can block the area above the fan out, so the window stays closed. You don't get bugs, because that's the only
main thing. That's bugs.
Yeah, even if it's a piece of tarp or just a piece of plywood that's the same size as the. I'm sure that one of your mini will love to make that for you.
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was actually going to take a tarp and put it over my whole window, because I got a big thing of foil to foil the window, and I'm looking at it going, I'm going to make a total mess of that. And so I thought, well, if I do it from the outside, maybe I can just put a tarp there. So that might actually work well. Okay, so finish that. Weird flag feeling, mask in the store. Okay, so the only other thing that I've got going on is, so at a friend's behest, Nephi, he was a little worried about me because some of the stuff that I said how I've been feeling lately, and so he decided that he was going to tell me, you need to take your blood sugar. And I was just like, you are off your rocker. So I took it, and it was not a pretty picture. So I arranged some blood tests, which I had yesterday. And okay, so Brian's friend, the African American woman, what is her name? Denise. My phlebotomist, who took my blood yesterday, looked almost exactly like her, and her name was Denise. And for a minute I was like, wait a minute, and then I'm like, no, you would not be working here doing this.
And you also don't want to mistakenly
say, wait a minute.
I always get the worst names called at me when I think somebody's not who they are.
Yes. So but she was really awesome, and she had to take my blood in like 2 different places, because she's like, you've got deep veins, and I'm like, that is a really nice way of saying you're fat bitch. But actually, can you see in the video, you can see that like, you're gonna get bruised from this, and I'm really sorry, but yeah, I ended up with a deep bruise. But she did good to find the vein.
Yeah, I have no vein that you can use on my right arm, and the left arm is like a feeding frenzy. Yeah.
Oh, see, mine was when she found it, she was like, "You got deep veins." I'm like, "Thank you for not saying something meaner." Um, so anyway, I know for that they're going to come back and they're going to give me a diagnosis that I will feel like a fat guy cliche over, but yeah. So
Say it. They're going to come back and say you got the beatus.
yes, they're going. I'm got the beaties, girl, and so I've known this for about 2 weeks since I took the first blood sugar, and that is why I've been like posting some photos of completely changing all my eating habits, and things have gotten better, but I know that I'm going to need more medical help to make sure that I get better and don't go off my rocker and hurt myself or something. So anyway, so that's going on, and I have been keeping it on the down low and not really talking about it, but it is what it is, and I don't know. All right. Hey, we want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much, and to be you. Just maybe a little bit lower sugar. Fat Marker Clothing wants those of us who have been told that we are too much of something to turn those negatives into positives. And Chubs listeners, you can do that by using the code FMWildChub to get 20% off ordering at anything over at fatmarkerclothing.com. And congrats to Julian and his partner or husband. They just bought a house. So that's very, very cool. An exciting new venture for them. So, all right. So let's see. Should we? Okay, it's time for advice, and I think this might be a good one. This comes from Dear Prudie, slate.com. Check them out.
Holy shit. It's really long. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm doing the second one. It's not as long.
There's two. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Okay, so my parents' social media habits are giving me secondhand embarrassment. I'm a Black queer woman in my mid-20s. I have a Facebook account pretty much only because I work in the media, and I need to keep up with my clients and what my potential clients are doing. I treat it like LinkedIn. I post very little, from sharing business events and industry-related relevant news. My parents, who are white and adopted me at a young age, requested to be my friends. And I accepted because originally I didn't think it would be a big deal, but my parents post incredibly racist, homophobic, and xenophobic content visible for the whole world to see. They're huge Trump supporters, as well as COVID hoaxers and anti-maskers. They provided me with a good education and otherwise decent upbringing, but after moving away, it still took a lot of emotional work to undo the kind of trauma of being a Black child of parents like this. And no matter what I say to them, they have never changed their toxic views. Aside from an immense frustration and trauma it brings me personally, I'm also afraid their posts will reflect badly on me if clients or potential clients click through my friends list. I know I can't reason with my parents. Can I just remove them from my Facebook and hope they don't notice?
Okay, what you do is you unfollow them.
Mm-hmm.
That means that they still think they're on your shit, but they don't show up at all.
Right.
They have to literally, and they won't because they're old,
Mm-hmm.
make sure and say this goes to so and so. Otherwise, because they are under the impression that on Facebook you put something on your newsfeed and all of your friends see it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is not true. The only friends that see it are the ones who are following you, and
Right.
not even all of them. So just do that, and then they'll never know the difference, and you won't have to read their hateful speech.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Now, if this wasn't your parents, I'd say, just flush it. But because it's relatives and you don't want to deal with their shit, do it that way.
Yeah, I think that is perfect advice. I would have said the same thing. And I would also go a little further and say that yes, you can unfriend them if they get really crazy. Uh, I've had to do that.
I think they already are.
Yeah, I've had to do that with a number of family, even before COVID and anti-mask and all that stuff, just because some of that side of the family is just nuts. So I don't have any problem. I just bye.
Well, you know what's interesting on the subject of COVID,
Mm.
that right now the only people who are dying from COVID are people who haven't gotten their vaccine. Just let that sink in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like there still aren't a lot of people who are getting sick and being hospitalized and are being and are dying from this. And all those people are people who refuse to get the vaccine. There is no one, you know, like Bill Maher. Bill Maher tested positive for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And as he put it, he goes, it's only 95, effective, 95% effective. But he goes, I wouldn't even known it happened had I not had to take a mandatory test at work.
Yep.
And that's the only reason because I was asymptomatic. I can't spread it to anybody, but then they don't want you around until 2 weeks after you've tested positive. Okay.
Yeah.
And he gets that. That's fine. But the fact is, you're not going to die if you've gotten the vaccine. You're not even going to get to the hospital in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
If you have it. So, honestly, every time I hear people dying now on the television, I know these are anti-vaxxers and I feel bad for them, but I guess they're digging their own graves, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the ones making that choice. And
And
fact, you know what? Do you know who Zillafag is?
I'm sorry?
Oh, there used to be a podcaster that went by the name Zillafag.
Oh, no.
And he used to be part of our network. But he actually posted today that he fucking hates COVID because his boyfriend refused to get the vaccination, so he broke up with him. I support that kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate that a relationship gets broken up, of course, but
well, I'm sorry, but we have gotten to this point where there are certain deal breakers anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And not getting a vaccine for a pandemic is one of those for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll hang out with people who are non-vaxxers. That's not a problem, but I'm not going to get sick.
Right.
I can go to the movies, I can go to the restaurant, I can go to the grocery store. I'm only wearing a mask because we want them to wear masks, not because I need to.
Right.
So I'm doing them a favor, and they could easily do themselves a favor and go get the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't, dig in that grave.
Yeah. And the good thing from my perspective is that everybody that was in my social circle before this began is now vaxxed. So
yeah,
even my father. So I feel good that now I can, reconnect without, having to be like, okay, well, social distance and all that stuff. So yeah, you're right. Deal breakers. Yeah.
They even had like last night, you could go to the Lambda Center and get your vaccine. They had a 3-hour vaccine there at the Lambda Center. So for like homeless LGBT youth, they could go down there. And when I say youth, I'm talking 12 and over.
Right.
Could go down and get their vaccination.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those kids don't even know what's going on.
Right.
So anyway, back to the hateful parents.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what Joe Prudy had to say. Remove them. If they refuse to listen to you, and the nicest thing you can say about them is that they gave you a good education and an otherwise decent upbringing, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world if they notice. I don't mean that to sound dismissive. Upsetting the stasis of a precarious relationship is no small move, but this isn't about secondhand embarrassment. It's about them not taking your trauma seriously online or off. And you don't need them on Facebook or maybe in your life if they can't even try to do that. I wish you had better parents and hope that you have a chosen family that supports you. And I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
So, all right. Hey, Chubs, are you looking forward to seeing movies in the theater again?
I am. Yeah, I am. I miss popcorn. I miss that movie theater popcorn. I miss those comfortable movie seats. We finally get really great movie seats that fit fat asses, and then they take them away from us. So, what I'm not looking forward to is being packed into a theater. I was never a big fan of that, and as a movie critic, that's the only way I saw movies. And so now that the state of movie critics is up in the air, what's going to happen? I'm not that sad. I'm watching Conjuring 3 in my living room on Friday. My life is good.
Oh.
Well, it starts on HBO Max.
Yeah.
The Conjuring. I love the Conjuring movies.
I don't watch any of those.
I know, because you're scared.
Yeah.
But I'm probably going to go see Cruella within the next couple of weeks in theaters.
Oh, very cool. I hear that it's really, really good.
Yeah, they kept it campy and fun, and they didn't try to. I don't think they tried to. I don't want to say Disney it up, but kids it up.
So I am looking forward to the next big superhero movie so that we can go and see it.
Oh, Black Widow then.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was coming out.
Coming up in July.
Okay, well there we go. I know when I'm gonna go check, back to the theater. Ed, hey Chubs, do you skinny dip?
Yes.
Nice. I don't have the opportunity to do that really, but I would. I totally would.
Yeah, it's the only time that my balls aren't so heavy that they sink to the floor of the pool.
Do they kind of float up?
No, they just kind of just they mingle. The water is usually cold enough that the sack holds them in pretty well. And
cool. I don't know if it's summer or what, but mine have started to dangle down.
Oh yeah. Well, once it happens, it never stops, and before too long, you're gonna be like going, "Wait, I've only got 2 legs. What's the? Oh no! What is this?"
Because I'll tell you, through the summer, I didn't really have a problem. I mean, winter, I didn't really have a problem. And now, since the warmer weather, it's like I'm constantly readjusting myself because I'm getting pinched. And that's so frustrating.
It is.
All right. Well, what's in your lunchbox? Mr. Moose wrote in and said, a friend's birthday is today. I had one of the best cakes I've ever had. Chocolate cake with chocolate frosting on top, but between the layers was no bake cheesecake filling. Ooh. Oh. Wow, is that an idea? I said I'm feeling a little faint.
Oh my God, his sugar's rising and he's not even tasting it.
I know. Also, baked chicken tenders tonight, tossed in olive oil and spices with a side of mashed potatoes. And Eastern North Carolina chopped pork barbecue, tangy with vinegar and lots of hot peppers.
Yeah, see, that's I think is more of a North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those aren't usually ingredients that I throw into my pulled pork.
Right. Yeah. Although one of the I'm in fear of becoming one of these people, but I will say that after looking up all the superfoods for lowering your blood sugar and all that, one of the really good ones is apple cider vinegar. And so every day I take a swig of apple cider vinegar, and I think it's helping, but also after it kind of hits about here, like I feel good. I feel really good.
You know, they have gummies for that too.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Making a note of that. That'll be interesting. Gotta look that up.
Yeah, but is it mashed potatoes or is it like a dressing with? They've got some gravy on this, and I want that. I want gravy. Gravy.
Yes.
But he doesn't have gravy on his mashed potatoes, and that was the only disappointing thing. Otherwise, it all looks spectacular.
Right. Those chicken tenders look really good.
Well, you know, and it's a very easy way to cook chicken tenders without frying them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Mr. Mike wrote in and said, made another attempt at a cheese on the inside. Made another attempt at cheese on the inside. Okay. Cheese on the outside, grilled cheese sandwich with some baby dills on the side. And you know, whenever we see a pickle on the plate, we call it the Ramble Redhead special. Mm-hmm. But I have heard of other people recently trying cheese on the outside of a grilled cheese sandwich. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but
well, you know, they have cheese tacos now.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they make what you do is you take cheese and you melt it in your pan, and then you flip it over, and when it's starting to get crispy, you lay it into a taco shell holder, and then you let it cool, and now you've got a cheesy taco shell.
Man, if I weren't lactose intolerant on top of everything else, that sounds something I'd try.
Well, Sean went out and bought at Costco. They have these ice cream bars that are dipped in chocolate, rolled in nuts, and then dipped in chocolate again. And
wow.
And they're spectacular. You know, I don't eat ice cream normally, but it's the ice cream's soft inside. It's not hard. It's really has a good taste to the ice cream, and the chocolate's really good too. And you're just like, la la la, because it's like, yeah, all of a sudden you turn into like the guy from Goonies, you know. Hey, you guys.
Yeah,
that's kind of how you feel, because you don't want to swallow because it tastes so good and it's not all melted yet, but you can't have more because your mouth is full of chocolate and vanilla ice cream. I'm pretty fat. Speaking of Ramble Redhead, he is the worst plating person that I've ever. Whenever he goes, "Oh, dinner tonight looked really good," or was really good, and I'm like, it's like gunk, gunk, gunk. And it's like the only thing missing are the walls of a school tray, because that's exactly how it looks. It just looks like you went down a line and went, thunk, 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 here we go. There's no presentation there. You know, Top Chef would be turning their nose up at his presentation. And I'm sure it all tastes great, but his presentation is for shit.
Okay. All right. So, hey, if any of you guys, oh, by the way, if you want to see the photos that we just talked about, go over to facebook.com/chubsgonewild. And if you want to submit your photos for this segment, just send it to us at Chubs.
408-69. Oh, wait, sorry.
Yeah, almost there. chubsgonewild@gmail.com. And, okay, so we want to take a moment to recognize our awesome sponsor. Currently, LGBTQ people of color in America have a disproportionately high rate of HIV infections. Golden Rule Services of Sacramento, along with the HIV Planning Council, want you to know that there's an important tool in preventing you from contracting HIV. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, aka PrEP, is a medication proven to be 99% effective in preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, call your local sexual health clinic. And in Sacramento County, California, all you have to do is contact Golden Rule Services at sacgrs.org and get started on protecting your sexual health. So thank you to them. All right, well, send us an email at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Leave us a comment on chubsgonewild.com. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/chubsgonewild. Please become a patron of the show over at patreon.com/mattburlingame. Find Tom's movie and TV reviews at swannerandjudd.com and find their podcast in iTunes or in iHeartRadio. Find out more about Matt's books at justkisstheguy.com and check out my other podcast at biggaysexshow.com. It's very ASMR. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
So, and thank you guys for joining us for another awesome show. And now you calculated out, are we going to hit 400 when we do?
No, well, that's when it was supposed to be in June, but now that they pushed it to July, we're going to be at like 403 by the time we hit it.
Okay, well, we'll on top of our ho-ho challenge, talking about myself there, we'll find something else real fun to do, especially since we'll be in person. Maybe we'll have a high tea or something.
Yeah, I'll be high.
All right. Okay, so that's it for this week. Don't forget, if you want to comment on anything, feel free. Just send us an email or give us a call. We haven't had a call for a while.
408-69 Chubs.
Right. All right. We will catch you next time. We love you.
Oh, bye. Yes. Bye. Happy Pride.
Yes.